I'm here, you guys. Just give me 1 second, okay? What's going on, you guys? What's going on? What is going on, y'all? This is your boy, Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for a brand new episode of Yes for the Mess, where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things. Look at my pillow just everywhere. My bed is not made up, but whatever. Where we talk about celebrity gossip, hot topics, and all things reality TV based. I hope you guys are having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. And I intend on doing the exact same thing, you guys. What's the tea, honey? I'm sorry that I pushed this live back. I pushed this live back a couple of times because I was ordering some food and shit, and I was waiting on my food to get here because I woke up on an empty stomach, child. I really did. I woke up on an empty stomach, and I could not do this live on an empty stomach. So I had to get up and get me some food and put in my stomach so I could really get y'all a show like I want to, child. Um, oh, excuse me. I don't foresee us being here like too long. Maybe like 30 to 40 minutes at the most. But we're gonna have a good show tonight. That's all that really matters. And I haven't really been doing no late night lives a lot, but lately I have. I did one last night, I did one the night before. So, we just here and I see people like Aaliyah Brittany and the GSA and Nora's like my moderators like them, like they normally here for late night lives and stuff. And I just want to get back into doing that. It's just that I've been trying to prioritize getting some decent rest at night. So that's why I haven't really been doing like a lot of late night lives and shit like that. But I'm slowly but surely getting back into the late night lives and stuff like that. Ain't nothing really wrong with trying to get y'all something that y'all like and shit like that. I didn't know that Love Island had a new season. I don't follow Love Island. I see a lot of people that watch Love Island, and I've been told to watch Love Island. And I don't know what kind of show that is. It looked like a love show or something. So I don't know. Y'all gotta tell me what Love Island gives. Hey, I see Kimmy. I see Sharice. I miss your late lives. So y'all, I don't know if y'all saw that short that I posted or not earlier today, but I said this the other night and I'm gonna say it again. I really want to just give you guys more appreciation. I do sometimes find myself making comments that are so negative, my vocal point, when I get a whole lot of love every day. And I don't want y'all to feel neglected. So I'm human though. It's gonna take me a minute. I'm trying to, trying to get it right, but we're gonna see. But we're gonna get into some things. I'm gonna do my best to focus on the positive. Because nobody wants to watch them eating Starburst. I'm sorry. Nobody wants to watch a platform where all they do is talk about the negative comments. Like, baby, you got a whole lot of people that love you and shit like that. Focus on that. Why we focus on the nastiness? Why we focusing on that? So, hey, Too Feisty. I hear Love Island will have you in a chokehold every day of the week. That's what I heard. Now, did the new season start tonight or something? Y'all got to tell me. Because in order for me to review it, it has to be a new season. So, Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not eating no more Starburst on camera. But y'all let me know if this is a new season of Love Island. Like, did it just start? Because if it just started, then I'm gonna sit back and watch it and see what it gives. I think it comes on Peacock. Correct, Jay. I think it comes on Peacock. But yeah, y'all let me know in the comments if this is a new season so I can see if I can get into it. Because I'm already late as fuck with Heart and Hustle Houston. And I'm on the verge of giving up on that, but I don't need to give up. I've been promising y'all them reviews and all that, so I'm gonna give it to y'all. It's 85 of you guys have been here. I'm gonna need 85 people in here engaging, and I'm gonna need for you guys to light this chat up as we get ready to get into today's show. In which tonight's show, which we're here to talk about Miss Kelli Ferrell or Kelli Ferrell, whichever way you pronounce her last name. But a former employee speaks out, and they're making shocking claims about her. And we're going to see exactly what this is about. So earlier today, I had woken up from my nap or whatever, and I had woken up from my nap, and I had came across this girl on my timeline. They was like, everybody was like, reposting this little video on my timeline on Twitter. And I saw that it was a story time where Kelli's former employee speaks out. And I was like, this is interesting. Maybe we could talk about it later on tonight for my late night live, because it really ain't nothing to talk about right now. Ain't nothing really going on right now. So let's get something to talk about. You feel what I'm saying? So, excuse me. Love Island is on episode 19. Oh, well, no, I can't review that then, child. The only reason why I asked is because I saw T reviewing it tonight, and he said season 8, episode 1. So I'm like, oh, it just started? But no, it ain't just started, child. But however, we're gonna get into this video. Okay, we're gonna watch it together, and we're gonna get into some things, y'all. So let's get into it.
Okay, y'all, I've got like over 1,000 replies, likes, and shares, and comments, and whatever. So I'm gonna do the story time. This is a story time about working for a peach that don't pay her bills. And this, I'm not gonna say like real names and like exact, everything, just because like I really don't care to. You know what I mean? What I will say too is the only reason I'll talk about it now is because the lawsuit itself is over. That is public documents. I mean, it's like you can search my name in lawsuit and it'll literally pop up. Okay, so this story started back last year around like the end of July, August, when I actually got hired. I had just went to like an open call they had, and then I had got like hired on the spot. So upon getting hired, we had like a couple physical training days, as well as days we actually had to go to the McDonough location to train. And I was like, okay, cool, whatever the case may be. So at the time, I was living with my mom. Just finished my freshman year of college, if I want to say, and I was living with my mom in Loganville. So I would have to commute from Loganville all the way to McDonough, which already was a drive because the location is supposed to be in Sandy Springs, which is closer to school. Mind you, I was only getting the job because my school, I go to SCAD in Atlanta, so my school is really, really close to Sandy Springs, and I was going to move out there and get my own apartment for school. Wow, on this series, I think the grand opening was televised. We were open before that. So we had opened like a week or two prior to the actual grand opening. She wanted to wait because she wasn't filming at the time. Okay, cool. So the first red flag was there was a lot of miscommunication with things, and I could just tell that this was going to be an issue. Keeping in mind, the reason I left my previous job before I even got that job was because I worked at another restaurant in Atlanta and we could not get paid on time. Ever since I literally opened that restaurant and we could not get paid on time. And this is not to come for any Black owned businesses, but mainly that I have this issue with, or like, the under the table payment, or can't get on time, or, nothing's adding up, is, I hate to say it, but our people. So keeping in mind that having that being the reason I literally left my previous job, I'm coming to this job for, job security, you know what I mean? Like just some professionalism that's going on basically. So the first red flag was, I think my training check and my tip out was my first ever payment that I got from them came in a Apple payment. No pay stub, no proof of, how they got this number, just in an Apple payment that said, hey, this is your check. And
how? What? Wait a minute. So you mean to tell me that Kelli wasn't paying her people with like a pay stub, a check, or none of that? Like if you got paid by her, you would get an Apple payment? What? Who does that? I ain't never heard of nothing like that. You at a job, you working at a restaurant, and you get paid through Apple Pay. What the fuck? And I'm eating Starburst again on camera after I just said I wasn't gonna do it. But Apple Pay, Apple Pay. Oh baby, that would have been the first. That would have been my last day right there, baby. They don't even seem right to me. I would be like, not this motherfucker paying me on Apple Pay. Oh no, ma'am. They ain't finna go down like that. Absolutely not. Let's continue.
And then I'll insert the receipt. Okay, and I'm just gonna use my MacBook so you guys can see, but that's the actual tip out and paycheck. So keeping in mind, my first paycheck, which I didn't know at the time, was $100 short. So it's supposed to be like 300 something, but as you see, it was only 211 because I guess the training hours when you train somewhere for a server is like $7. It's minimum wage, $7 an hour, and then the tip out from which your credit card tips or whatever the case may be. At that time, before the grand opening, even a little bit after, there was not heavy traffic. Like it did not pop off how they were expecting it to pop off, and that was a problem. So fast forward into maybe a week or two. I can't really give you the exact timeframes, but I can just show you the timeframes on the receipts. So that payment that she sent me was on, as you saw, August the 7th. Okay, that was my first ever paycheck. They said that we would get paid every Monday. And I had a feeling that this was going to be a problem because I only worked on the weekends. So I asked my manager, I was like, is this going to be a problem? Because I only work on the weekends and I don't want to like miss getting paid. Because from that point on, from my coworkers, this other service, they told me that she said that she was going to pay us in Zelle or cash, either the Peach or the Peach's mom. So I was like,
so y'all getting paid through Zelle in cash? Wait, no. So you got this big business that you talk about. It's like this popping. Excuse me. This popping chicken and waffles restaurant that makes all this money in McDonough, and you're telling me that the people that are working with you, they get paid Apple Pay and goddamn Zelle? That's how they get their money? I wouldn't trust that at all because it'll be like, how are you, coming up with this pay? Like, are you calculating this pay? Like, is that what you're doing? Like, are you calculating? Like, who does that? Like, what? Like, I really was feeling bad for Kelli. The fact that she was staying at Shamir's townhouse, she ain't had nowhere to go. She ain't got no money. And now you mean to tell me that you shorting people, you're shortening people's checks and their money, and then you don't even give them like no official like check stub or nothing. You're paying them through Apple Pay and motherfucking Zelle, and you want motherfuckers to feel bad for what you going through? Girl, please, let's continue.
if I'm not here on Mondays to get my cash, or is they gonna just send me my Zelle? Like, do I have to actually be in the room to get this money? Like, it was so many questions that I had, and I just knew like the flags just kept coming. I just knew it was gonna be a problem. So I think the next week comes around, and I'm just like, okay, so no, my friend, which was the hostess at the time, she came to me and she was like, did you get paid this week? And I was thinking about it, and I was like, no, actually, I didn't get paid. And she was like, yeah, we didn't either. And it's going on Thursday and they're not saying nothing, this and that. So I'm like, interesting. You're right. So it got to a point on my next shift, I think it was like Friday, Saturday, or whatever, they still did not come and pay us. So there was a couple servers that were just like, well, between the servers and hostess, they were just like, well, if the payment don't come by this time, then I'm walking out. Like, I'm not dealing with this. And I was like, that's real. Like, I definitely understand it. Me trying to be a team player and take one for the team. There was 2 days I was actually in that too. I walked in on a Saturday morning shift and I was the only server. I was the only server in that restaurant. It was me, my manager, the dishwasher, and I think about 2-3 cooks, and the hostess who later walked out. Yeah. I was the only server. So it was like when the tables was coming in, I was taking all these tables by myself. My manager, she literally was doing everything she could to help me. And it was just crazy. Like, we had not been paid. And here I am still trying to be a dumb bird, take one for the team, a team that don't care about us, obviously. And, just thug it out. So by the end of my shift, my manager, she's just like, well, the Peaches mom is coming to bring the cash or whatever the case may be. Just wait around, she should be here around like 3, 4. Mind you, we closed at like, I think it was 4 or 5. We might close at 4 and got out of there by 5 after we cleaned up everything.
My thing is this. I don't like it when people get over on their employees. I feel like that is the worst fucking thing that you can do to somebody. Like, especially in these restaurants. Because I work in retail. And I think that retail is terrible. But
Peaches
I
don't pay her
think that
bills.
people that work in the food industry they begin over on a whole lot. And I just feel like for a person of Kelly's caliber would not be sitting up here getting over on their employees. And the thing is, you're getting on national TV, right? You're getting on national TV and you're putting this shit out there as if you are this rich bitch and you got all this money and you could do whatever you want whenever you want, excuse me, and all of that good jazz. But then you're not even paying your employees well. Like you're not even giving your employees like a real check. Like that they're not getting paid for real. Like you paying them on Zelle. You paying them on Apple Pay. You feel what I'm saying? Like I've seen people with restaurants similar to yours where they actually get them a pay stub. They actually get them a paper check. You don't even do that. And then you say they get paid every Monday, which that's a god awful day to fucking get paid. Most people get paid every Thursday or every Friday. Because bitch, I get paid every Thursday at the Kroger. Every motherfucking Thursday. Okay? So what are you talking about? And then on top of that, you took advantage of this girl because you knew that she was young and probably wasn't really thinking. Do they even file taxes working for you? Like, to be honest, the moment I got paid on Apple Pay, the moment I got paid on Zelle, I would have been ready to quit then. No, for real though. I would have been ready to get the fuck on right then. Like I can't even sit up here in front. And I feel like a crazy person because I was feeling bad for your garden on looking ass. Like I was feeling bad for you. But in the same breath, how you gonna sit up here and get on the show and flaunt your wealth your very first season? Then the very next season you get on here and now you're complaining because you ain't got no money and you paying all these bills and all this other shit, but yet you can't even pay your damn. You ain't even paying your employees. Now, if this gets legs, then what you gonna do then? You're gonna be in more legal trouble. Is Phaedra still gonna represent you for free at that moment? Mm-mm. I don't like that. I don't like to see employees get taken advantage of, especially when this is their livelihood and stuff like that. And I get that she's a college student, and it's not really that much that she probably spending her money on. You know what I mean? Like she might be spending her money on some concert tickets or a football game or whatever. You feel what I'm saying? And the sad part about it is this comes out in the reunion films tomorrow. The reunion films tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. And it's coming out. I wonder if anybody's seen it. Like, that's all I gotta say about that. But anyway, let's continue with this. This is part 2. Let's get into it.
Working for a peach that don't pay her bills. So at this point, it's like Saturday, Sunday. I told my manager, like, look, I just busted my butt today by myself. Me and you in the dirt together today. And if I don't get paid by the time I leave here today or by the time before I come in tomorrow, I'm not coming back until I'm paid. Period. And I shouldn't even have said that. I should just say I'm not coming back, period. But still, I'm trying. You know what I mean? I really do be trying. I really do be trying. So I'm just like, if I don't get paid, I'm not coming back. And at this time, I had texted the Peaches mom because she was a person over payroll. And then I also emailed the HR. I don't want to spread no rumors, but when we had emailed HR, the email was out of business that week. I'm assuming the bill wasn't paid. So, okay, cool. No response. Mind you, I saw the text. The text literally went through. I can show you the text. Okay, so it was actually Friday. Oh, dang. I was on myself on a Friday. So, yes, Friday, August 15th. That's when I sent this text message. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell y'all. Okay, so during this time too, I was applying for my apartment for school, right? Because the student housing for SCAD is like an extra 10 to $14,000 on top of tuition. So I already did it before. I was like, okay, if you crunch the numbers, we're only in school for 2.5 months. That's almost like, that's a lot of money in rent. So it would make more sense for me to get an apartment so that it could take some money off my tuition. So that's what I was gonna do. So that's what I did. I applied for an apartment in like upper west side or whatever the case may be. I use my pay stubs because at the time too, I was also an early development childhood nanny. So I would nanny for prestige families in the higher communities or whatever the case may be through an agency. So I use my pay stubs for that as well as, the generated tip out, because generally the tip out wasn't huge. I mean, the tip I was making wasn't huge, but it definitely, it was a little something that could help tip over the favors and with my nanny salary. So, okay, cool. So I remember applying, everything was going great, this and that, and something came back on the forefront of which I used the Nana's tip out. So for those who don't know and don't work in like the hospitality restaurant industry, there is a system called Toast. A lot of restaurants use it, and through Toast, you can clock in, clock out, see your tip out, see how much you've made, see, you know what I mean? You could track everything through that. So a lot of people, even though that being a server is not a really a wage heavy job, but like a tip heavy job, if you can provide at least 3 to 4 months of consistent or around the same amount of tips, they will accept that. So for any other job that I've used Toast for, it has worked. But specifically working with this one, I submitted it and they sent it back as, I don't want to say fraudulent activity, but they said that it couldn't be authorized, like it couldn't be verified. That threw me for a loop. Like that literally genuinely just, I was so lost. I didn't really know. I was just trying to figure out. So with that coming back, it looked very suspicious. And I remember the leasing office the leasing agent had called me and she was just like, yeah, it's something coming back very funny with, the Toast account that you leaked and the information that you're providing. It's almost seeming as though like there's a lot of, not even a lot, but there's money that's unaccounted for and unauthorized. Like we can't verify it. And she was just saying that, at this point, I do think that maybe you should either pull the application or, they can investigate further, but there's no telling what they could find. So I'm like, that's very, very weird. Like, what is going on? Keeping in mind, this is before all this stuff had fully happened. So this was after I got my first paycheck too. So this was about the time I was waiting for my second paycheck. So I ended up pulling the application. I lost the money for that, of course. And yeah. And that's why I will always tell you, like, God really works in mysterious ways, because had I got that apartment and they was withholding my money like they was wage theft, I would have been shit-faced. So mind you, that happened while I was literally at work on one of my shifts. So immediately I'm starting to actually think about it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? Wait, these people are actually kind of right. Because why in the first place, if we're using Toast for our payroll, are we not getting paid through Toast? Why, if Toast has all the numbers, why are they not just paying us like every other job does? Why am I getting paid through Apple Pay? Like, I see what they mean. Like, this does look like fraudulent activity. How are your numbers coming from Toast, but you're getting paid through Apple Pay and Zelle? So fast forward a little bit, I don't get paid. So I don't go to that shift. And I keep texting my manager throughout the week, like, hey, has the payment hit? Like, have you got an update? She's like, no, I'm sorry, like this and that. So I haven't been going to work. I don't know who's been going to work actually too, because me and the other servers, they were telling me, they was like, you been paid? Yeah, you been paid? No, I have not been paid. I haven't. Even the cooks in the back, some of them told me they hadn't got paid. And and on my last day there, even it's bad when the mommies in the kitchen, come and tell you like, no, there was two of them that had came on my last day working, and they was just like, Mino dinero. Like, she was like, I need to get paid. She came up there her office. She was like, I need to get paid now, or I'm not coming back. Like, it was bad. Nobody had been paid. And when I finally texted, when HR finally got back to me about it, like, we'll get into that. They made it seem like, oh, nobody was, withholding your payment on purpose. How? When your whole staff was walking out and everybody had not get paid, everybody was contacting you, this and that. And then my thing too is, when we first started there, they said the main person over payroll was the Peach's mom. We went directly to the fucking source and we still had not got paid. So what do you mean? We texted your mom directly. So it's just like, genuinely, who's fucking lying? Because we went straight to the source and emailed HR. What do you mean? But you know what? I give HR grace because, again, the bill had not been paid that week because the email bounced. So how? So at this point, 2 weeks had passed by, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking let it go. Like, it is what I'm gonna chalk it up. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the money no more. It ain't even about the money for me. Like, I'm gonna get this shit back to I'm saying. I don't give a fuck. Like, we've been kicked out of better places, Janika. So I'm just like, you know what? Whatever the fuck. Okay, cool. But then one of my coworkers sent me like the Peaches Instagram or whatever, and she was like, they were like posted up in a Sprinter. I can't remember what, like, they were posted up in a Sprinter moving her daughter into school. And that, y'all, I'm not gonna lie, that riddled me so bad because literally I had lost the apartment for school, like I told y'all. So this was like the end of August. Mind you, school started the first week of September. So I was like, I made the decision to not go to school that semester because I was like, I'm not going to put my mom financially through that burden of trying to put up my tuition because my mom is a real single mom. You know what I mean? She literally do this by herself day in and day out since I was born. She didn't have no choice. My dad died before I was born. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was so irritated. So I had took off the semester of school because of that and lost the apartment, whatever the case may be. So I was like, you know what? I'm not letting this shit slide. Like, I was gonna, but now I'm not. So that's when it was 2 weeks after I had not been paid that I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it to civil suit. When doing my research about civil suits, back pay, wage theft, and stuff like that, I researched all the things that, the clauses that you could put in there as far as, the things that you've lost because of this wage, insecurity, as well as like.
Listen, I would have been, baby, I lost my apartment because of you. I had to sit out the semester because of you. And then I got to look on social media and see you in a Sprinter taking your daughter to school after I can get my shit together for school. Kelli, is you serious? Because you really can't be. Like, for real. You can't be motherfucking serious right now. Like, for real. Like, what? I'm trying to understand what the true tea is. No pun intended. But I'm really trying to understand what the fuck that is. Because it's just like, girl, for real? And you want to get on this show and get cute the way that you are, and you ain't even got your priorities and right in the order. Like, are you for real? Like, seriously. Like, what? And who is HR? Her mama? Like, that don't sound good. It just don't sound good. It don't sound right, and it's crazy. It's motherfucking crazy. Seriously. Hey, baby. But I could tell that she was young and shit, so we really can't fault her for her decision making because she was just trying to be, a good team.
Like, it was 50-50.
I'm sorry, like a good team player. That's all she was trying to do. So we really can't be mad with her about that, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead to the last part of this. And then after we get through the last part, we're going to give more commentary and then we're going to close it out. Okay. So let's get into it. Let's put this back up here. Shout out to the 223 people that are here. I hope you guys, if you're brand new to the platform, I hope you guys are subscribing to the platform. I really, really do. I hope you guys are subscribing as you should, because we have a great time over here on Scotty by Nature TV. Okay. So let's go ahead and get back into this part 3 of it all. Let's get into it.
Okay, we kind of breezing through it, but y'all get an idea. So I filed the suit, I want to say August 24th, 25th. This was now 2 weeks after I had not been paid. I have not received no type of communication at this point. Like, literally, everybody has gone ghost, except for my manager. She was so amazing. Um, yeah. So I filed August 24th, 25th. Then 2 days after I filed is when one of her representatives finally reached out and was like, oh, we've heard that you guys hadn't been paid. So now at this point, we were 3 weeks behind on payment. 3 weeks. And now you're just remembering, oh shoot, I need to pay something. That means you already, people who, whoever was still working at that point had already missed 3 different paychecks, and now you're just saying, oh my gosh, I forgot you guys need to be paid to pay you. Like, please tell me what, like, y'all, for real. Literally up here playing in people's face. Gotta be, because there's no way. I know people who will get up with you about $20. So imagine you're missing 3 weeks worth of somebody's paycheck in this economy. Please, please, please. So 2 days after I filed the suit, they reached out and was like, oh my gosh, like, what's your Zelle? Like, we're gonna Zelle you. Initially, and I want to speak on that too, because initially when the lawsuit came out, a representative said that, oh, well, we offer her a certified check and this and that. No, the fuck you didn't. You didn't offer me that until I said something about it. Until I said, and again, you're trying to pay me in Zelle with no pay stub, no documentation. So I know for a fact you're not taking out no taxes. So honestly, I can't even file this for my fucking taxes, because I know unless I get a 1099, and even that, because the numbers are not right. And then when they tried to offer me and pay me my last check, I was missing money. That's when I went down and and I had to provide the spreadsheet, of which I provided to the courts, of that they're not properly keeping track of the money we're making. They're not properly keeping track of our hourly. They're not properly taking out taxes. They're not doing nothing right on the business forefront of things. So, yeah. So mind you, this happened in August. So I declined the check, because I was like, if you're not going to pay me the back pay, and liquidated damages, we have nothing to talk about. I already filed the civil suit. So if you're going to pay me the back pay and liquidated damages, then I'll withdraw the suit. But I'm not taking just this money, because again, this is 3 weeks late. You guys knowingly withhold it. I don't care what nobody say. You cannot sit up and run a business and for 3 weeks forget to pay somebody when you're supposed to pay them every Monday. That's not how it works. So fast forward to September, the first week of September. This is when she actually got served, and this is when everything hit the blogs and the headlines. So at the time of the suit, I was 18 years old. I need everybody to know. And I was a fresh 18. I had just turned 18 that year, earlier that year. So I want to say not going through the proper channels, but me wanting to do everything on my own, and for going to filing on my own and figuring out things on my own. I knew that there was a potential that this could go public, but I didn't know everything that would come with it. And what by that, I mean, like, when the blogs actually did leak this information, I felt like I knew that this was public record, but I didn't know that everything would be public record. I remember vaguely the day that it went viral or it went live, that my mom's address was actually leaked too. And I was baffled, because, and my mom was too, because at the time my mom was looking at, she's literally just now becoming, you know what I mean? She was literally just a minor almost yesterday, and you're telling all our business, you know what I mean? And then there was a time that we had somebody come to our house and like take pictures, and like, it was so weird. Like, during that time, I didn't know everything that was going to come with that. And if I could have did it differently, I probably would have got a lawyer just to, like, shield me on that forefront, because it was a lot of things that just, like, you know what I mean? I feel like I had no privacy at that point, you know what I mean? And I didn't really want that. I really just wanted my money. Like, I don't really care what anybody else says or what they say. I really wanted my money. And if she was in this position or anybody else, you would understand that too. In this, I'm telling you, in this economy, I live in Buckhead. Gas was almost $7 when the gas was at its highest. You think I'm about to play with you about a paycheck, girl? I'll see you in court. So yeah, when that happened, it was crazy. And then on the other forefront too, it was so distasteful to see, like, it was 50-50. Like, it was some people that was just like, oh, like, I could definitely see this. And then also at the same time, it was people who were like, what is she suing this much for? This and that. So I'm actually gonna break that down for us, actually. So in total now, the full thing was $19,000 that I was awarded from the court.
Mm.
This is the final order and final thing. You can read that to see that I'm not lying. It's an actual court document. That's the actual final ruling. So I actually won, for all those who were, you know what I mean, in my business saying, oh, this is not. So please. So the actual suit itself was a wage theft suit because it was stolen wages. We agreed to a contract, or whatever the case may be. We agreed to a wage that I was going to receive that I never received. So I filed for wage theft, and then that was about these numbers are rough estimates. These are not the exact numbers, but I would say I was owed a back pay of about $900, right? So when you in back pay and liquidated damages, they just times that number by 2. So that's now $18,000 in, not say $18,000, my bad. $1,800 in money. That's, back pay, liquidated damages. And then I did, the blogs did get that part right. They it was $5,000 in emotional damages because I'm going through it. Like, I'm literally at home trying to figure out my next job. Then on top of that, like, trying to get my life together. I just missed the whole semester of school that I'm gonna have to make up now. Like, that was in there too. So my lawsuit was just everything that I lost because of that one hiccup. Like, life comes at you so fast, and just because of that one hiccup, I lost a lot. Like, you know what I mean? I wasted my time. I could have been doing something that just genuinely benefited me. So yes, I sued for my wage. My wage theft was like $900. Then the liquidated damages back pay, which is $1,800. 5,000 emotional damages because I'm hurt. Like, I'm literally irritated as fuck. I'm going through it because I don't have to explain it. Y'all get it. You, like, if you were in that situation right now and you had obligations and responsibilities and bills to pay, you would be mad too. I'm telling you right now. So yes, and then I don't even have time to sit down and be on somebody's couch talking about my feelings because life goes on and I have real shit to do. Nothing is gonna stop not being need to be paid because I'm mad or I'm sad. I got shit to do. And then I put in there a clause for my tuition because since I missed a semester of school, I'm gonna need $10,000 because when you go to school during a summer course or a summer class, the government FAFSA does not help you with that. You have to pay that out of pocket actually. And SCAD wants the whole thing. I paid, it was like a $500 clause for back taxes that I probably will have to pay just because, I will have to figure out, what to do with that. And then also, I'm trying to think what else was in there. The money that I lost for the apartment. So the apartment that I lost because of, their undocumented wages and, inaccurate spreadsheets on Toast or whatever the system was. And there was something else, but yeah. And I won it all. I actually won it all because, they responded publicly, but never responded to the courts and then never went to any court dates. So, yeah, that's the story in a nutshell. And that was my life. And yeah. Okay, we kind of breezing through it, but y'all get an idea.
That was a crazy story. That was a crazy story. And I'm glad that the young lady got what she deserved out of all of this because Kelly was fucked up for that situation. Like, literally fucked up. That was fucked up. And there is really no other way to look at that. And there's really no other way to put that. Kelly was fucked up for the way that she treated that girl. Not even just that girl, but the way that she treated the people that worked for her. That's just crazy. Like, that's not what you do to people. And people take out their time to work for you and do things for you. Like you, I feel like with these jobs, and that's with any job, honey. That is with any job. They don't appreciate their workers and they don't realize that their employees is what keeps their business going. If you didn't have any employees, your business would not be what it is. And if you didn't have any employees, you wouldn't be making the money that you're making. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like that's completely ridiculous that you would treat your people in that particular way. You feel what I'm saying? And with that being said, everybody already knew who she was talking about. She didn't have to say her name. I knew she was talking about Kelly from the moment she said McDonough, from the moment she said Sandy Springs. I said she talking about Kelly. Because who the fuck else got a damn chicken and waffles restaurant? Shit. We already know she was talking about Kelly. So it really didn't mean shit. But Kelly is fucked up for that. Like, seriously. Like, girl, you can't get out here flowing your money around and trying to make everybody think that you miss big dog and you got this and you got that, and then you can't even pay your people. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about that. Like, seriously, that's just really how I feel. I don't see how I'm not the biggest Kelly fan myself, but if anybody's defending this shit, I don't see how they are. So that's just that. Let me see what Pretty Gray Eyes just said. Let me see what they say. I wish that they would pay wait staff a living wage, at least minimum wage, instead of making them rely on tips. And that is one of the things that I always said. That's why I said I would never do like a restaurant like Chili's or IHOP or Pizza Hut or anything like that, because they really do rely on tips. And these folks do not like to tip. They don't tip. For most of the restaurants that I go to, every time I go somewhere, I literally tip them. When I get an Uber, I tip them. I try my best to tip everybody. And I really think that it's fucked up that they have to rely on tips. I do think that that's fucked up. I've always thought that it was fucked up. I'm like, so you make most of your money through tips, and we know that people don't really like to tip. The only way that I don't tip you is if you don't do your job the correct way. The only way that I don't tip you when we're in like a Uber or something is if you damn near drove like you damn near about to run me out of my whole life. That's the only way I don't tip you. Oh my God, that was crazy. But before we close this out, I got something to ask y'all. So I want to know, are y'all familiar with the 20-year-old that got into a fist fight with his dad at his brother's graduation? Are y'all familiar with him? I need to know this real quick. Are y'all like, have y'all ever seen that viral video of him fighting his dad? Okay. So I'm asking y'all this for a reason. So while I was in my bed today, I got a text message from a number that I wasn't aware of. And this number comes from like someone that works with two of the people that was on Candy in the Gang. They reached out to me. Apparently, the boy that got into the fight with his dad that went viral, he wants to come on my show and he wants to tell his story on my show about what happened between him and his dad. And I was hella surprised that he would pick me of all people to want to share his story with. And to top it all off, he's been a fan of mine for years, which is also crazy. So I said all that, and we trying to set everything up right now. So I'm not gonna make no formal announcement until everything is set up because we're trying to set things up right now. But yeah, he wants to come on my show and talk about his story. And I would definitely let you guys know when everything is set up because we were setting it up earlier today. So we're gonna see what's going on with that. So it just goes to show you that you never know who's watching. You never know who's watching. How was I supposed to know that this man, this young man was a fan of mine? How was I supposed to know that? There's plenty of places you could have went. There's plenty of places that you could have went. But you want to come here to Scotty by Nature TV. And that alone should let me know that I am the shit. Okay? Listen, I have been doing quite a few things this year. Like I had the interview with Ellis, which is Keisha Cole's brother. I had the interview with Sharissa. I was even trying to get an interview with Brandy. I'm still waiting on them people to respond to me about that interview because I was really trying to get an interview with Brandy. I was hoping and praying for that interview. And I'm still gonna try to see if I could get it. I promise you, I'm still trying to see if I could get that Brandy interview. Still trying, but we're gonna see. But yeah, so like I said, I'm going to let you guys know when everything gets set up because we're trying to set everything up for this and all that. So y'all will notice I have like a flyer, thumbnail, whatever posted by the time that's done. But in the meantime, in between time, be sure to look out for me. I will be collaborating with C Diggy tomorrow afternoon around 4 p.m. We'll be doing a Bravo Kiki over on C Diggy's platform. I already shared the link on my community wall. So if you need to set your reminders for that, please go to my community wall, click on that link and set your reminders because it's going to be me and C Diggy doing a Bravo Kiki. And I'm very excited about that. Okay. But that's it. That's all. And before we get up out of here, y'all already know I gotta do my promotions. Be sure to support my best friend Sammy. He has a t-shirt line on Etsy, so make sure you guys go and pick that up. Make sure you guys go and pick up my book, which is That's Why You're Lonely. It's available on Kindle and Amazon, so make sure you guys go get that. And I see I got me a little check today from my book. Yeah, I don't know who bought this book, but y'all still buying it. Okay, so shout out to y'all for buying it. But yes, it's still available on Kindle books and Amazon. We're getting ready for the next one to be edited, and we're hoping for it to come out by the fourth quarter of this year. Okay. So with that being said, oops. And as you all know, the Scene ATL is currently filming right now. I actually have to go film tomorrow afternoon. Actually, I have to film with one of the newbies tomorrow. It's a one-on-one with me and one of the newbies tomorrow. So we're already filming halfway through episode 1 already, baby. It looked like episode 1 gonna be a supersized premiere from the way it's going. But anyway, that's pretty much it. So with that being said, you guys, this be your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok will be down below. With that being said, you guys, your boys up out of here, and I will see you guys on the next one.